back. Some happy fun times in Barovia.
Woohoo!
Hey.
We've got the one silent 1-1 playing the unflappable Undertaker, Ezra Pheras. Yay. Got Miss Misery as the broken fighter, Segrid. Theambreus as the inquisitive bard, Kendrick, Dantiir, Cuthilioni. Full stage name. Got Squid Kittens as the off-tested cleric of Kellenvor, not a paladin,
I
but
feel like that should be always tested.
always tested.
Every day.
You know what? As every session continues,
I mean,
it is a
I
test.
think the only times that Toren hasn't been tested is when Tammy isn't here.
And it just happens. And back with us today, Suni's strong servant, that solo sister, Bad Wolf, as Anna.
That's me.
Mm-hmm. All right. So last we saw our heroes, you'd had some heart-to-hearts with the persons of the Wachter house, which includes, of course, Lady Fiona Wachter, her two sons, Nikolai and Karl, of who are great aficionados of
Back in the house.
the arts.
We did tell him to get in the house, Carl.
That was Coral.
They promised that they would go looking for Sigrid's stuff. They have a hunch, since the guy who had eaten people around town was also a tax collector and stealing stuff, that maybe you did find at least Sigrid's shield. Maybe he took some of the other stuff, stashed it
Baby
thereabouts.
steps.
Don't keep all your stolen goods in one place. Or
With your porn.
yes, that's the trick. That's how you stay safe. Keep them separate. Just
Keep them separate, keep them safe. Where is it, Frodo?
throw it in the fire, and that's how it goes. And then as you were leaving the Wachter house, let's say that this is about a good 2 hours there. You did spend some time speaking with the lady of the house, then investigating the upper rooms, escaping just in time, I think, with quite a few things in Ezra's satchel. Some investigation coming later, but as you were leaving the house, so it's about 9 a.m., and preparations are underway outside. You can already tell there's pavilions going up. There's those, like those bandstands, except it looks real decrepit in a way. Like you wouldn't want to.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to go underneath these rafters unless you wanted like tetanus.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they probably should have put these away or put like a cover over them. Last time it rained, there's snow on the ground, and there is a stage that's been set up there in the town square. It's sort of... The stage is pretty normal. That's the speaking stage. Even back in the Arashnau, the little mountain village, they had maybe like a little platform for a town crier. This one's bigger. It's got some decoration around it that looks almost like a yellow for the festival of the blazing sun. It's more like what would be a sad version of yellow?
Mustard yellow?
Yeah.
Puce? Is puce yellow?
Chartreuse. A yellowy chartreuse.
It's an off yellow.
Question.
Like vomit yellow?
Close.
The festival is not today, it's tomorrow.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, which leads to the Festival of the Blazing Sun's grand artifacts. There is a large wicker construction of a kind. It's maybe the size of maybe 3 men at its width, of like a giant wicker ball of a kind, with not exactly like a smiley face set into it, but there's been like some of that ochre ribbon that is supposed to make some sort of a smile on it, and then two, imagine somebody had been charged with making a paper mache sunflower but having never seen a sunflower before.
Oh no.
And they made two of them, very large, and slapped them right there as the two blazing sun eyes in a animated sort of fashion. So you have like these two big things that look almost like squashed flies with blazing yellow spikes coming out of them as eyes. And then a big dirty ribbon as the smiley face. Yeah. Imagine Epcot just put onto a small stage.
Imagine a sad Epcot.
And it was, imagine a sad Epcot, and it was the saddest place on earth.
Oh no.
And that's what
Just
that's what they've started getting ready in the morning.
It's like Epcot. You're required to be happy, even if you're not.
Yeah, it's like they want you to have the same experience without providing any of the things that actually make it happy. And so that's what's setting up. There's a couple people there. You can see.
No churros?
Oh no. Oh no. Let me tell you, you don't want to try to find the hidden Strahds around this place. That's, or maybe you do. Maybe they'll just pop out at you when you need to. Lady Wachter is standing nearby. She was going out with her maid servants to complain about all the trappings that are going on, how tacky they are, how terrible they are. But you all were stopped by Sheriff Isaac Strasny. He's here. He's angry about it, about something. I don't know.
Always angry.
Maybe that nose-picking thing, maybe that wiping action didn't go well this morning. What with his huge right claw of an arm. And he wants the girl. He wants, by name, Irina Koliana, who he knows was with you. He hasn't seen or followed around personally. Just, he was always in somewhere else. When you were at the mansion with Irina, he was out with guards. Now that you went to Lady Wachter's house, Irina's over at the church. What do you want to do? He's demanding her.
It's like one of those things where we're always like, oh, you just missed her. If you'd gotten her 2 minutes earlier, she would have still been here.
We don't know where she is. I mean, we're not in charge of keeping.
She's her own woman.
Yeah.
She just kind of slipped away.
People do that.
She's very sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt that. He's fingering something at his side, and you can see that he's holding on to a not small doll in his left hand. And you see that it has kind of dark brown yarn as its hair, and kind of a simple purple dress that it's wearing. And while he's holding on to his axe haft with his massive, bulging, demonic claw of a right arm, his left hand is at his side, and he's this sort of absent-mindedly stroking the head of it.
I think that's really sweet.
Oh no!
He still likes playing with dollies.
Dollies. You think a man of my personage would make dollies? Would a man of my stature and authority make something like this? And he pulls up what is clearly a very poorly made doll.
Yes.
Where
Is it more like an action
Holding it.
figure, Tom?
It actually looks a lot like Irina.
Oh,
that's
no.
creepy. Why do you want to know where she is?
If she's here, then it's only for us to be together at last.
Ooh. You're giving
Have you-
out a little bit of stalker vibe.
Have you ever actually met her?
Well, none of this
Not-
really matters because we don't know where she is.
It's a small town. If she's not with you, then he's looking around. Maybe at the mayor's or the stables, the church.
Does this doll look like just like something handmade out of crazy affection, or does it look like some sort of
Evil voodoo doll?
some sort of Arcana-based tracking device?
Is this an evil
Or-
voodoo doll?
Oh, for that, I'd need an insight check or an arcana check.
I will do insight because that's way better.
Yeah, there you go. It's like, is this creepy voodoo doll?
Can I roll as
Is
well?
this concerning creepy or just sad creepy?
I'll roll Arcana.
Oh, 21.
Teamwork.
Unless you want to give me advantage.
16. And then it's a net 20.
All right. Then, Toren, as he's displaying this doll up for all to see, you think it's just a really poorly made doll. But to you, it's actually very familiar. You have collected quite a few of this kind of make. That it's
One.
the
I have one.
bloatedness. You've had one. You had to give up another one. A little wolf doll.
That is true. Or I've had two.
There was a small ghost girl who had like a skull-faced one.
Oh, yeah, I didn't take that one.
Yeah, left that one in the home. So you've seen the kind of maker's mark of this, wherein there's a bloated head, a stitched-on smile with the stitches all showing. And Dantiir, you think that if this was a doll of some voodooan type or possession or controlling magics, you think he's not very good at it? So he would try to make it look a little better and mobile.
At least there's that.
But Toren, you think this might be a Blinksy doll.
Which is concerning.
Yeah, professionally produced Irina Cuthilioni
Like-
dolls.
He would have had to pay dollars for that.
Art commissions aren't cheap.
I pay up front. Support the arts.
Well, I mean, I'm on board with him now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've been having Blinksy make these dolls every time that I've had another dream of Irina getting closer and closer. She may have been arriving as a Koliana, but she will be a Strasny by this day's end.
So you have lots of those dolls?
They're 3D portraitures, not dolls.
But I'm saying, like, if they're one of a kind and you have a bunch of, like, collector items?
They get better each month, I believe.
The first one was, like, a corn husk doll.
Okay, none of this
yeah.
matters.
Cattail
We
reeds,
don't.
actually.
We don't. We
Like
don't know where she is.
Small wooden sausages just
Yeah,
stuck
you-
together.
So,
So
while he starts describing how they're made, I'm just like, children, let's leave.
Yep.
If you had a wallet with like pictures of all of that, that would be.
Yeah, I mean, I'd really love to see them sometime.
you
What are you doing?
I'm distracting you.
have fun. I'm gonna like start moseying towards where the church is.
Okay.
No, you don't.
Be like, you should probably check the mayor's house. If there's anywhere that someone related to a burgermeister would be, it will most likely be kept there.
Not a bad idea. Men, you stay with them. Follow them all day. If they come across Irina, come fetch me. I'm going to be at the burgomaster's first. Then I'll catch up with you. We'll be at the town square about an hour. And so he's going to start taking off toward the Burgomaster's place, which is a little bit west of where y'all are. And you've got now just 2 guards near you. At which point, Lady Wachter will kind of step a little close to where Segrid is. And though she is just standing there with kind of arms in her across her chest in very disapproving manner, she'll lean in a little close and try to whisper without giving too much away in her expression. That's the sort of micromanagement that this town has had for too long.
I see that arm. What kind of beast is he?
He wasn't born with it that way. The Burgomaster adopted him when he was young, showed a certain animal ferocity. One day, the arm just appeared, grown as if some sort of demonic cancer growth.
I wonder if it'll grow back and cut it off.
Now that would be a sight to see.
You might see it.
I wonder if his head would grow back if that was cut off.
Wouldn't that be freaky?
You know, if there was a terrible accident or tragic loss of the dear Strasny, Vallaki could use a new sheriff, someone who could maybe treat things fairly and objectively, without these personal embroilments.
I'm sure a person of honor will fill
I am mom staring the hell out of the back of Segrid right now.
Which no one is aware of.
Typical Toren.
But I do not know who would take that role soon.
Well, if the opportunity comes, young lady, there's an aura about you of certain authority and strength. And it should turn a little bit. I see that they still haven't cleaned up the old blacksmith's place. Terrible. What happened between him and that tax collector? Now there's no one to mind the store. All those axes and spears and swords just left unattended. Shame. Oh, it's almost as bad as those dresses that the Baroness's ladies-in-waiting are wearing. I must go, dear, but we'll be in touch. And she starts walking off. And you do know that the blacksmith shop, that was where Segrid and Ezra had come across Eugene Addy the last time, just as he was finishing off somebody. And those doors had not been closed very well, and you can even see them now, that the walls are damaged, and there are unchecked amounts of weaponry inside that's been prepared. Valaki's it's a walled city, you know. They gotta stay ready.
I might go look and see my axes are there.
Quick peek.
But not right now.
Okay. There are 2 kind of nervous guards who are kind of shifting their feet before you. They don't look any more prepared than your average hired villager. Maybe a bit better trained.
They're just getting my angry stare.
Anna is going to loop her arm through one of the guards and be like, "So are you going to chaperone us today?"
That's what Sheriff Strasny wants us to do. That's what we'll do.
Great, let's go. Where do you think we could get a really decent breakfast?
The one that you've wrapped your arm around is a little flummoxed, and I make a mean omelet some of these days. I guess just his fellow guard, who's a little unamused at this, kind of slaps him on the shoulder. I mean, still on duty. You might find some sustenance over at the Blue Water Inn, maybe.
Well, technically, your duty is to tail around with us. So, I mean, if you're offering to cook,
I mean, I could go for a home cooked meal.
both of you, please give me a persuasion check for how flummoxed this guard may be. Anna, you got some advantage.
I rolled dirty 20.
Jeez.
I rolled 24.
What?
So I'm not even-
I rolled a 10.
No, roll it again. You might get a natty.
All right.
Do we both have advantage?
Kendrick, what are you bringing to the table? She put her arm around the guard.
I will join her, arm around his, like, arm on his shoulders. Yep.
He's blushing just deeply and strongly. So, in a very meek voice, he's like, just around the corner, just near the across from Blinks's. And he's
Ooh,
pointing
across
out
from Blinksey's.
just a place about 2 blocks down. And technically, his partner there has been ordered to follow you all around. So while this one's definitely with you, he'd be leading Anna and Dantiir over to his home here on the east side of Valaki.
We don't go home with strangers.
I
I mean, what else are we gonna do? We could go to Blinksey's, but you'd have to hold my bag while I shop.
I'm sure you'd be able to do that, wouldn't you?
You're very strong.
Harry.
I was planning on taking a look there while you wait.
and that's something that can happen. All right, so let's say that they come in here. Visits. Okay. If you're satisfied with that, then Anna and Dantiir, you can be distracting this guard while they're preparing you breakfast. The eggs aren't the freshest, and he's got a couple of wolf steaks in. It's not exactly a freezer, but it's like a lockbox that they've set out outside now that it's gotten colder. And he brings inside one of those so they can chop it up, put it into the omelets. It's nice and frozen blooded. So while that's going, Segrid, you're going to check out Blinksey's?
Yeah.
Cool. How about Ezra? What you want to be doing?
Let's go to Blinksey's. That sounds great.
Okay.
I hobbled.
It's right
I'm,
across the street.
Encumbered.
With this big bag of... This is like university textbooks style.
Oh,
Oh no.
Yeah, I noticed it bubbling. So, is there an alley we can take a quick duck down?
Yes, definitely. Same alley where the frozen lockbox was. That's... Nobody else is there. It's either people are employed at putting up decorations, or they're employed guarding the town, or they're inside their houses not not going out this time of cold morning.
All right. I'm going to get him to put his bag on the floor. I'm going to go down with my shield, kind of look like I'm adjusting thing, but it's really I'm just tucking some of the heavier stuff into my own smaller bag. So yeah, my main. Oh wait, no, my backpack was there, wasn't it? My my shield and my backpack were there, right?
I believe so. And the small bag of teeth.
Okay, good.
Don't lose that.
His bag is secure, and I'll just toss some of the other stuff in so he's not, bent over.
Nice. So Ezra, you
And I'll
keep
go
the little silk bag, little leather bag, the wood pipe, I think, and the scrolls. And so Segrid, you're getting a leather case with, like if somebody was gonna write a book and then they haven't published it yet, so it's that thick manuscript style. That's what you got, as well as like a really heavy black leather book.
Okay.
Grimoire. So you got the 2 heavy books. Ezra, you got the coinage. It's It's like the amount of coins that you would take to turn into actual dollars, because this is a little much. Somebody's savings here. That's how it's
much better.
And then you get out of the alley, and Toren, you're also going over to Blinksy Toys.
Yes.
Yay! So
Well, now I need to know. Now it's gotten super creepy. And
As opposed to before.
yeah, where it was just poor artistry.
it was just children's toys on par with the ambiance, and now it's weird.
Way to go and make it weird, Isaac.
Yeah, now it's gotten weird. All right, Isaac's at Burgermasters. Okay, you're Dantiir now. All right, so the shop is a little cramped. It's got a dark entrance portico, and there's a little wooden sign with like a, I suppose it's supposed to be shaped like a rocking horse. There's a bee engraved on both sides of it, and flanking that entrance are two arched lead-framed windows, and just through the dirty glass as you're looking, you can see jumbled display of toys and hanging placards bearing the sign, "Is no fun, is no Blinksy!" Exclamation point. And going in, there's like a tiny bell that goes off, and there is... Do you remember Beanie Babies?
Yes.
The place where they would sell these the most, I would say, are like hospital gift shops. Because you go to a hospital, it's like you're going to get somebody candy or balloons or a Beanie Baby of some kind. And that's what this is.
Terrifying evil doll.
Yeah, this is the saddest candy stripe shop you've ever been in. So you see over here, like, there's a headless doll, and then next to it is this little sign that says, like, attachable heads, and there's little sacks that are like wrapped, twisted up at the top like a little piece of bread. There's one with its eyes and mouths just stitched shut. It says 9 copper down at there. There's a miniature wooden gallows complete with trapdoor and a weighted hanged man. Just like you
Ooh.
pull the lever. Cheep, and
Ezra is like squealing.
yeah, also 9.
This is the greatest place ever!
There is a set of wooden nesting dolls that as you open, the smaller, the older it gets, until the last innermost doll, mummified corpse. Fresh. And marshmallow. That's, I mean, it's old. You probably shouldn't lick that. Other people have licked that. It's for display. Some mobile bats up overhead that are like really easy to knock into if you're of the taller sort. They're just on wood and string. Mobile bats with little flappy wings. You pull on it and the wings flap on there. A little merry-go-round with like snarling wolves chasing children in the place of prancing ponies. So like,
I love this place.
oh yeah, like you spin it and it goes, and the music is like tinny and way out of tune. There's a ventriloquist dummy that looks like there's unmistakably Strahd von Zarovich, except it's like got these bulging button eyes and this like little. I have a picture of that, actually. Whoops.
That doll. Someone buy me that doll.
I want the little one for 9 copper.
9 silver on that one.
I've
Strahd's
got
9
9
silver.
silver. I'll come over after breakfast.
And there is a doll that looks suspiciously like Irina Koliana made of corn husks. It does say not for sale, just on that. There's like a stack of them. It looks like they've been treated very roughly. There's a corn husk one. There's a water reed one. There's one made of flour sack. And so as you get in past here, and the musk of the store gets past you, it's like somebody left an animal in here, but hasn't cleaned up in a while. And there's just a door in the back that opens, and somebody comes out, and kind of a hefty man with kind of a beard and goatee, and says, "Welcome, friends, to the House of Blinksy, where happiness and smiles can be bought at bargain prices. Perhaps you know a little child in need of joy. A little toy for a girl or boy, eh? Is my spiel." And thank you. And he bends down, and as he does, there is his hat that he's wearing. It's like this jester's cap that with only one of the bells on it is ringing, and the other one looks like there's a little bit of torn stitching. The hat launches at you.
Ah!
And you die.
Yeah, everybody dexterity save real
We
quick.
went to
Sigurd and
breakfast.
Ezra and
Oh
Toren.
no. Nope.
No.
Oh no.
That's
Ah, fuck.
all right. Those are really low. So, it's a bit startling for you, Toren and Sigurd. Ezra, you, as you're clapping, this launches at you, and you are in a good position to catch it. And the head comes at you, and it's very warm and wiggling. And you see Gadolf Blinksy, the Valaki's toy maker here, like start setting up. It's like, oh no, you naughty monkey, naughty, and you're holding in your hand, Ezra, this worn-out jester's cap and a small spider monkey that starts peeking out of it, and it just like reaches its tiny spider monkey hands over the edge of the jester's cap, and it's looking up at you, and starting to give off very, very soft cooing noises.
Kill it.
I'm not really a monkey person.
Just drop it.
No, it's an animal. It's alive. I just slowly hand it back to him.
in the hat, like a little thing.
Yeah.
Naughty monkey. Yes. This Piccolo. I am Gadolf. Piccolo, little monkey, my partner in not crime, I guess, but in joy, happiness. I've been training him to fetch toys from the hard-to-reach places, and it's not going well. He has left things in those places that are hard to reach, let me say.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah, with which he will like reach over to the counter, and it brings out like this little satchel of potpourri, crushes up a little, and like starts throwing it in the air. But welcome. What can I do you for? Have you come with any orders? We make the finest of all happy toys here.
So you are not Blinksy.
Yes, Gadolf Blinksy. At your service. And Piccolo. And you see the monkey is now wearing a little ballerina's tattoo. Now that he's out of the hat.
This thing's obviously evil.
We've seen your work around Barovia.
Oh, you have? Well, what do you think?
Unique.
Yes, I have heard that many times. It is.
You're an artisan.
I consider myself a apprentice of some sort. A student of the great inventor and toy maker. Have you heard of Fritz von Wirg? No, that okay. Well, he's amazing toy maker. These, and he goes over to the little merry-go-round that has the wolves chasing children. Like, yeah, I attempted to make my own version of the merry-go-round, except with the Valaki touch. You see, we are city of wolf hunters. I thought, well, here are the wolves in need of the slaying and the chasing, and here is why. And then he starts like turning it on top with the little hand crank, and just that creepy tinny music comes out again. Meanwhile, at the other house, Anna and Dantiir, the two guards that are there with you, they are not. Well, not everybody's having a fun time over there. The male guard has introduced himself as Radovan.
That's a really nice name.
That's a cool name.
This is like, thank you. I had this all my life. And his partner, Marta, is rolling her eyes as hard as she can.
Where'd you learn to cook?
Had Valaki, you either have to hunt, or you are one of the ones who, well, makes meat out of what has been hunted. And
You're
I,
not hunting.
yeah, those woods, they are super
Terrifying.
creepy.
I could not have said it better myself.
Martha kind of like goes, "Pfft, we have the walls. That is why we don't have to go out." And she'll get it out with gritted teeth. It's like, the festivals keep us safe.
What is up with those?
Yeah, tell us more about these festivals.
They how often do you have them?
Ha! Those pathetic things. We have them every week. Come in, come out. He's really getting into he's getting some things off his spice rack. He's starting to put in I don't know if you're supposed to use paprika and these sort of things in the morning.
Yeah.
But
I've never had a wolf meat omelet, so maybe.
I mean, paprika goes with everything.
They are not called wolf meat omelets just for the meat, but also how you wolf them down because they're so delicious. And he flips it. Does a spin. These celebrations, they're nothing. A real protection comes from the church. Always has. And the same as Saint Andrew's over there. Krisk.
And how long have you worked for Weird Arm guy?
Oh, Strasny's been sheriff for years now. It comes from position of being an adopted son of the Baron. If he wasn't sheriff, he'd be the biggest bully around.
I get that feeling.
Probably still be.
He's very nice.
You said the Church of St. Andrews?
Yeah. Change St. Andrews. That one's right over there.
We talked to the priest earlier today.
Oh yeah, nice guy, Father Lucian. Always
He said
had
that
an
the
alms.
bones were stolen.
Bones?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We got a graveyard. Marta will kind of perk up at that stolen bones comment. It's like, somebody been stealing out of the graveyard?
Well, we are deputies still. Would you be able to help us with this investigation?
They laugh. Deputies. We're all deputies. Deputies
Perfect.
until
We
we
work
get bit.
perfectly together.
She looks like she needs maybe a little more convincing, but that's something that she's interested in. They didn't seem to recognize anything about bones of St. Andre, though.
I mean, think of it. What a feather in your cap it would be to solve this mystery before the sheriff even finds out about it.
What's your word on Dantiir? Nothing.
More on that. Okay. Back at Blinksy. Blinksy, get off Blinksy right there. Very interested in anything that you have to question or to order. He says he makes custom commissions. Just takes him a little while. He'll need some details. It could be minimum half down, and then you get 2 consultants before the job is done, and then job done, and then you get to have that. Whatever he makes. Very reasonable rates.
I'm gonna pick up one of the arena dolls.
Mm-hmm. Oh, those are private commissions that didn't work out so well.
You mean the stalker didn't like them?
Until last night, I didn't think they were an actual real person. I thought it was the... Are you a patron of the arts yourself, young Lacey?
No.
Sometimes you get the a sort of patron who they're not really satisfied with the first or the second or the third or the 17th take until you get it right. The coin is all right though. It's almost the only thing keeping this shop open. There's a considerable pile of these dolls. Among the other ones. He looks a little sad at that, but it's like, but until I saw that young lady last night when she was breaking those folks out of the stocks, I had no idea this was supposed to be someone who was real. The sheriff had been having me make these dolls for him for years now. Each one getting a little more detailed.
Were you the one that told him that she was in the square?
Yeah, this morning he came in and picked up his latest order, and I said, I thought I saw this young lassie that he's been making the doll commissions of, and he seemed real... Happy's not the word I would use, but maybe... excited, certainly, as enthusiast. I left without even taking any change. Now that was a nice bonus on top of that. So, you see anything tickles your fancy here in the old Blinksy shop?
I need this stacking doll.
Stacking dolls, one of the finest.
I need it. Just the end bits, you know, it's like it's just so, like, it's age into death. I love it.
Me too, I think it's so clever. I will throw in free marshmallow corpse, free marshmallow mummy, the last second, in case you get hungry. And he, like, picks up this little 2 marshmallow mummy that's been stylized with, it might be actual paint. You're supposed to use, like, food coloring, but... and he, like, wiggles it over and puts it right next to the big nesting doll. And there's just a basic till box that he puts up onto the counter and opens. Alright, that will be the 9 crowns there, Strahd crowns.
Digging around. I'll give you a silver and you just keep...
Precious business, new customers. He turns over to Piccolo. It's the marshmallows every time, I swear. You see, he's got like this bag of like old marshmallows beneath the counter, and they've the way that he wiggled it over, there was no give, there was no jiggle in that marshmallow. You think it's been there a long time. So if it's every time, I mean, I guess it's true if he only sells one of them. So
I do have a, and I will sort of gesture at the Strahd piece.
Oh, yes.
And shouldn't this be, I would assume, not on the shelf, more popular in such a place so dedicated to...
Well, the Lord and Master, may he live forever. And he takes his jester's hat off and puts it back on. There's a little jingle, half jingle. I doesn't get to come to the village so often, and it's kind of better that way, you know, where we send in taxes every year, and I guess the festivals kind of keep them away, or something of the like. The festivals are a good income also. I make those beautiful ribbons out on my very own sewing machines. Pick out the colors myself, present them over to the Baron and Baroness. They pick them every year. I suppose if there were a competition, then maybe it wouldn't be my job every year, but so is good for business, good for Blinksy. Happy ribbons for boys and girls. And everyone.
Right.
Perhaps you would like to take this little count home with you? Mr...
Oh. I thought he missed me at first. Like, it's Forster.
Mr. Forster, maybe this little happy count could go home with you. I will throw in spare cape.
Does he look like really desperate to feel good about himself right now? With the sale.
100%. He has sold his first toy of someone who wanted it in possibly a very long time. A very
Then
long time.
I will have pity on him and I will buy the Strahd doll.
Yes!
It is good ventriloquist dummy. You just put your hand right, and he takes the doll from you, and he jams his fist all the way up. It's like, and look, it has fangs. And then he does something on the inside, and the mouth opens up kind of like a nutcracker, and you just see it go clack, clack, clack. And there's two little fangs on the inside that kind of hang down.
That's fantastic.
You can shove your fist up his ass. I like it.
Oh, didn't think of it that way. Maybe this becomes collector's edition as the last original. That'll be 9 silver pieces for that one.
Oh, I only have gold.
I'll pay for it.
I'll give him a gold.
Is there any cute like little wolf dolls or something?
There are Piccolo. Wolf. Har har. Alright, and then Piccolo does a handstand on Gadof's shoulder, and then he kind of screeches back at him and is like, Wolf, doll. There, go. Customers. And there he goes up to kind of this shelf near where the windows were, but this is a little out of the way. And so Piccolo comes back and he lands on your shoulder now, Segrid, and there is it's like a person doll. It looks like it has kind of a plaid woodsman's shirt with some blue pants onto it, but the head is a very wild-haired, plain-faced person, except the tongue is sticking right out of this person's mouth. So it's a very soft doll, but with a very wide mouth, and you can see that, looking in at it, it looks like that tongue is connected, that felt fabric is like a thicker and more solid piece of ribbon. And it's connected to something inside. And you can see that the felt inside the doll's mouth is of the smooth sort, that it wouldn't be rough if you were to just reach in and give that tongue a little yank.
I do that.
It flips inside. You see the legs of this doll just get sucked up into the body of itself, just shrinking. And there's a very realistic bone crunching sound. I think there's little bits of gristle that's been added into the fabric. It crunches like somebody has put cellophane into it. There's lots of little bone crunching noise, the doll bones. And as you pull it in and out, the body then collapses into the head, and the head becomes this very bloated and bulging thing with the eyes starting to pop a little bit. And then by that time, the red tongue that had been there in the mouth is now revealed to be tied around like a little red bow of a ribbon around the base of a furry gray wolf tail. And as you keep pulling on it, the back legs of a little wolf are coming out, and the body of a wolf is coming out, and then the human head that was around the mouth finally does a complete flip, and there is now a very round-faced wolf head attached to a very elongated wolf body, and a little tail that has a red ribbon tied around it, and one of the ribbon lengths is very long and ends in, if you look closely at it, or not closely at all, it's very obvious, like a little forked tongue. Except that's the fork is the end of the ribbon.
It's disturbing and I buy it.
Yeah! 5 silver at that one. It is my special Blinksy transforming cuddly man.
I heard a hand letter.
This is the best sales all year, and on a party weekend, it is the best ever. There's like a slight tear as he like starts pulling out puts some of the coins in. You see like slight clouds of dust come up from this tin box.
Moth flies away.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, that's lucky money moth. I needed him for luck. Oh no.
No, I'm ruined.
Oh well. Oh, found lazy marble eye set. Now this is complete. And he takes it out of the tin where he's been keeping the change, and he puts it just behind him where there was on a shelf. And there's like this little bag, like a little leather sack, and he knocks it in and gives it a good shake. It's like, lazy marble eye set, and dashes it out onto the counter. They don't go very far. They're not sanded very well, and so they have like wobbles. They don't roll very far. They are all oblong and ovalish or studded glass eyes in the fashion of blue eyes, green eyes, brown, hazel, and for everybody who's looking at them, there just seems to be like one particular marble that's always looking at you, no matter where you move. A little bit. It's just there. Like that's the good stuff.
Well, we thank you for your hospitality.
Of course. You remember, if he's now points at a very dusty sign that's over the back room's window. Like, it's no fun, it's no Blinksy. Very happy to meet you, good fan folk of the arts, this morning. You'll be going to the festival, yes?
Not if we can help it.
No, but you must. I am pretty sure you must. I don't think the people are allowed out of the village during the time of the festival. And perhaps you can show around the Blinksy toys that you have to all the little girls and boys, eh? Show them what fun things we have here at the Blinksy toys.
Have you thought about like maybe giving out samples?
I suppose, yes. We could do the,
Like little tiny wooden, like miniature dolls, or
we could give out the rack best seller of several years back, and he brings it up from the bottom. Like I usually have them on display now. It's a miniature torture device playset. He slaps on stretchy clown doll with a menacing spiked tooth grin, and then as he puts it on, look, really works. He straps it into these just almost Velcro things here, and then he starts turning a crank on the side, and as it stretches, the little gears turn, the doll stretches, and it looks like it starts just having a really, really wide grin. And then the doll's like, and best part, he taps the doll in the middle, and it just jiggles and like as if it's laughing maniacally. Special rubbers in the middles, and it's just like bouncing all over. Obviously in jest and not in incredible pain.
That's the best. Here, how about this? I give you, hold on, 5 gold to just spread your wares through the festival. How about that?
This is a plan. Yeah, I can put together. And he starts looking around things. A couple of wares. Piccolo, you and I are going to be busy. Perhaps this will let me get the materials to make the Clockwork Man, the masterpiece. And he looks at to where Ezra's eye expression kind of is. Have you heard? of the Clockwork Man
No, that sounds cool though.
was one of von Weirg's greatest works. They say the Clockwork Man was delivered directly to Castle Ravenloft, where it kept not only Count Strahd, but his parents, the Mistress Ravenovia, of which the castle is named after, and the dead person who Barov, King Barov, of course. They loved it, as well as Strahd's brother. What was his name? It was so long since the tragic incident of the falling and the stopping and the sudden death. But
I love the dying.
But they had the Clockwork Man. I would give anything.
Strahd had a brother?
Of course. You not know of the von Zaroviches?
We are not from around here.
Oh,
Wink.
You say wink? I hope you like said wink.
of course.
Toren's like, how does this work again? All right. Wink.
Wink. Well, it is all in our healthy Barovian history. I think I have one of the books here somewhere. And he goes to a lower shelf that looks like no one has touched in a very long time, and they are of educational children's literature. Which, oh man, if C Spot Go was meant for like high schoolers, that would be stuff. But he does have a picture here of King Barov and Queen Ravenovia, who look like just lovely, stern people. Who didn't rule this land exactly. The von Zarovich brothers ruled this land back when they were both of the military persuasion. They had a battle here in this very valley, and Strahd, of the two brothers, decided to make this place his home. And which was to the great kindness to everyone here, as he has never left since then.
Is this illustration that we're looking at here in that book?
Yes.
Does Toren think that hand looks familiar?
Toren thinks that hand looks like a very, very familiar kind of demonic growth. Just one of those things that maybe happens to everybody.
Oh no.
You stay in Barovia long enough? Ooh.
Oh
when you
yes.
get your demon hand.
As they kind of say, you work. There is maybe a saying, possibly, you work long enough, you get demon hands. Here, let me. And he goes through the book and is like, oh, see, here he is, the Lord Strahd himself, and he goes to a nice full-length picture of Strahd von Zarovich. It's like, and here was his brother over here, and there's a... It's someone who looks very much like Strahd, except there's actual like kindness in this kind of face. Like there's an actual smile to it, and while you can see the resemblance, this looks like somebody who actually has laughed once in their life, and that's the brother. And it's like, oh yes, and of course the betrothed, and it shows you. So they took over the valley, renamed it Barovia over King Barov, hired lots of people to make the castle, named it after the mother, Castle Ravenloft, of course, and that's where they hired von Weirg to make the greatest creation, made everybody happy. Oh, you should have seen, I heard there were great smiles to them, and to his brother, and to the dear lady Tatiana, and he flips the page, and there's now like kind of like a family portrait of the royal family. And so we've got King Berov and Queen Ravenovia, Strahd, his brother, and there's now a lady there in the sketchings that she's dressed in very formal royal dressage. Like, yes, the young lady love, and far too young to be taken as she was, but sad story that. It's a slippery towers, I hear, there at Ravenloft. One ill step, and there she went. And so you see this, in this portraiture, there is a woman who is a very, very stark resemblance of Irina. Except there is, notations at the bottom of this portraiture that have everybody's name, and this is a Tatiana, and it looks like there was going to be a wedding, but that didn't happen. Back to the breakfast cottage. Back to the Waffle House.
Breakfast club.
Yeah,
Woo!
back to the breakfast club. The omelets are ready. They are hot. It's good compared to the cold outside. There is no things that are good to drink in the morning here. They have well water.
Yes.
What about some hot tea?
I'll take the water.
No, you can have that, and we have a pot and kettle to boil on, and Marta, you can get the kettle. And she kind of like sighs and doesn't budge. Like, Marta, come on, we get to eat on duty. What better time could there be?
Is Marta the other guard?
Yes.
So they left the other group alone?
Yep.
Well, they were across the street. They have
But
their
yes.
windows open.
Okay.
There's not snow falling, but there's certainly a lot of it, even just around the windowsill.
Mm-hmm.
And Marta, like, very audibly sighs, but does get up and gets a kettle on to the stove, puts in some more wood. So that starts heating up. Dantiir, you get a big heaping glass of well water.
Mm-mm. It's good stuff.
No, it might have parasites in it.
I turned out fine.
Dantiir, roll
well
Constitution
water.
check.
Hello, caller.
Yeah, good. A lot of good alkali. You can become a battery
I choked
once
on the
you.
water. I rolled terribly. So, do you think you'd be able to help us with this?
Missing things in town. That's our duty. Take care of Valaki, kill wolves. I guess feed strangers as they become less strangers, eh? Then he's looking at Anna. At that.
Yeah, less strangers.
Do you have a
Ew.
place to stay in town, or?
Yeah, we're staying at the inn.
Oh yes, the Blue Waters. Good place. Good place. Little noisy, I suppose. Nothing doing about that. It's a public inn.
You don't have, like, nightly noise curfews?
I mean, it's just as good as whatever crowd is there in the inn. We've got a lot of curfews here in Valaki, actually. Got a laughing curfew. We got a smiling
Ow.
curfew. We got a...
A
Sounds terrible.
smiling curfew.
Yeah, no smiles before 7 a.m.
I thought you had to always be happy.
Well, the Baron says there's a time and a place.
Okay. I was worried it would be one of those, like, excuse laws. Like, you have to always be happy, but you can't smile before this point kind of deal.
But what
No,
time
that's
at night
it.
is
That's
that?
it, exactly.
Okay.
That one we try not to enforce, but definitely no laughing whenever the Baron is talking law. That's set in stone.
Oh, does he have a funny voice?
Yes. Martha gives her friend there a glare. This is like, It's how he pronounces his J's. He makes them hard like the G. He thinks we put together jigsaw puzzles. And we make the guests. We put together giggles and gossel each other when we're being unruly.
Come on, Martha. You know that's funny.
She is absolutely like trying to keep herself from cracking up.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Hey, that's ridiculous.
That was why no laughing law was established 498. It's very important and usually most difficult during normal hours, but everybody
I can
keeps to it.
imagine the festivals when he speaks must just be must be murder.
Oh, sometimes. Let me tell you, the Wolf's Head Gamboree was not something that she wanted to... That was a tough one. That's why we had so many people in the stocks this week.
That explains so much.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, Festival of the Blazing Sun this week. It's fine. No Jays in sight.
I mean, that's a way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, somebody must not have been proofreading on the last one, but it's where it goes. Y'all are here staying for the festival, of course. Keep yourselves safe another night. Here, perfectly fine.
Potentially. You know, depends. You can't really see the future.
Yeah, that's true. It's guard here, hunt in the forest, maybe fish at the lake. Might be iced over this time, unless the snows have come down too soon. He looks over to pour the well water again. It's like, get the holiday cheer from... Been low on wine for a while now. I don't think we've had a good shipment in a month.
Where do you usually get it from?
Oh, the Wizard of Wines. They send out wagons to all the villages.
You know, I read something about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I read something about that, and she'll pull the letter out.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
That she...
Okay. So that letter that Anna had gotten in last time, this was given over by good dear friends, says it's a letter asking to take care of the mystery. It's been going on about what's up with the wine. It hasn't been here. There's so I guess if Anna's mentioning that, it's like, oh yeah, makes sense. That'd be the place to go. The winery is just about like 2 hours out of town. Like literally just walk there. If you took a cart, then be like 40 minutes.
If it's so close, why hasn't anyone gone to check?
Yeah. Is it that frightening and worrisome outside?
I mean, I think the Baron has his own supply, and he hasn't been worried about, and we had stored up some of those as some of the tax to be collected, but I guess that's not there anymore. And now he's given it kind of some thought to that. Like, you think maybe they don't charge for the wine anyway, he's positing. Like, if we got some of that, if Radovan thinks that if you guys got some of that wine, maybe...
Would help with the taxes?
Yeah, maybe Strahd take that in effect. I hear he likes to drink. That count.
They don't charge for the wine?
They don't. Keeps people cheery, they say.
Interesting business model.
That sounds very suspicious.
Been that way for a while.
Well, we weren't planning to do anything until the festival, right?
Yeah? Yes, we were.
Oh, we were? Okay, sorry.
Yes, we were. Many, many things.
Oh, well, this would be the time to do it. I don't think...
I slept through a lot.
You did. You were sleeping forever.
It was like a full day.
Gotta get my beauty.
Radovan says, like, it works. And he gets a kick from his partner.
Dantiir rolls his eyes at that.
Yeah. Like, well, if you were gonna go, he says, if you're gonna go do something, today would be the day to do it, because absolutely no one is allowed in or out of the village until as soon as tomorrow starts, until the festival of the Blazing Sun is over. That's also like a bylaw that they have in.
How long do the festivals last?
He says basically all morning. They should be lighting up the Blazing Sun carnival festival decoration, the big wicker sun that's on the main stage, at about noontime, to represent the great sun coming out and shining upon them as a glory of the Morning Lord, protection something or other from vampires and werewolves and all the sorts.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna do a glance out the window. Are they still in the
shop?
Yeah.
Are you all? Let's see. Segrid, Ezra, and Toren back at Blinksy's Toys. There's a nice children's book. It's got display of everybody's family: King Berov, Queen Ravenovia, Strahd von Zarevich, his brother Sergei von Zarevich, and Sergei's late wife, Tatiana. Or actually, both Sergei and Tatiana are late Zareviches because they're both dead. You know, I thought that Sheriff Strasny was having me make some Tatiana dolls. There's the resemblance, and he holds up one of the corn husks that absolutely barely looks like a stick figure, except with like a strand of brown cotton on the head. Like, I thought we were making better Tatiana ones. Maybe everybody has school chum crushes. If we had schools, I suppose. I haven't had those in a while, but what you know? New lady, just like her, mirror image almost. And you see Piccolo, the monkey, is starting. He looks like he's gonna knock off one of the bats. He starts toying with one of the wings up there, so that it's flapping, and then he's just like hanging on to it, and the wings are flapping up and down. It's like, no, down, Piccolo, not good, not good. And he starts getting one of his receipts, just kind of rolled up, and it's like, down, monkey. So he's distracted for a minute, and you've paid for all your things. What do you want to do?
Have a lovely day.
Yes. Live. May he live forever, and it's no fun, and welcome, and all those things. Happiness, bye. And he's like trying to grab at this monkey who's playing on a flapping bat figure here. All right, and so now, Dantiir, you see the three of them walk out of Blinksy's Toys.
Hey. Well, are we done with breakfast?
Yes, I'll chop.
Well, that was delicious. Thank you very much for the meal.
Delicious.
You're very welcome.
Now, question for you. How closely do you have to follow us? Like, do you have to be, like, right next to us? Or if, like, we go to a shop, can we go inside?
I mean, you didn't follow the other part of us.
No, so long as we keep an eye on you, that's all right. I mean, we don't have to go into the bathroom with them, do we, Martha? And she says, like, Morning Lord, no.
I don't judge.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we do have a couple things to do around town. So, I mean, I guess... I mean, I'm not gonna... I wouldn't dream of asking you to not go with us, because that would be breaking your instructions, defying an order, etc., etc. But,
Yeah, Sheriff Strasny would definitely not like that, and that's... You don't want the sheriff on the bad side.
I don't think he has a good side, really. And I'm gonna start heading out
Okay.
of the house.
they will just kind of put up a couple of dishes and things. Say you can put your stuff into the sink. They don't mind. And Marta and Radovan will just follow you out. He'll lock up his place. It looks like a nice, cozy little place.
And we'll rejoin the rest of the group. So, where are we off to first?
Well,
There- a wedding.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna just fill them in on the whole wine situation, and that it's a good idea to replace the taxes with.
It
Well-
ties into what I want. The weapons shop is open. I need weapons. Toren needs his mace back.
Hmm.
I need
It's
some.
just in a bit of a bind because apparently no one gets to leave the town once this festival has started.
Yeah, but it doesn't take very long, apparently.
Just a morning.
I don't know that I want to be here to watch these people suffer.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
I feel we should collect the rest of us and leave.
This is not a bad idea. We can check in at the blacksmith as we go about our business.
Problem is, if our friend leaves the church,
The guards have no idea what you're talking about.
how quickly will things happen?
I guess that depends on how quickly we move.
Oh, if you're concerned about safety, and Radovan will answer, the church is the safest place, really. That's, like I said, back at... Oh, you didn't have the omelets. We didn't save you any.
They were really good omelets,
They
guys.
were pretty fantastic.
Radovan believes that it's really the church and Father Lucian there who have kept the town safe. Holiness of the Morning Lord, and plus they always pay their taxes on time, so why would Count Strahd ever bring down any wrath on the village? Besides, they got those tall, pointy, spiky walls.
Right. How close is the church to one of those tall, pointy, spiky walls and or a gate?
To a gate, it's from the most western gate. It's about like 150 feet. To a spiky wall, it's got it's like a block or two away. But to a spiky wall, it's almost at one of the corners. So Vallaki is kind of shaped like a dolphin, and with the head of the dolphin facing east and the tail of it west, and like a dorsal fin up at the north. And so the church is like at the small of the back on that dolphin tail. And so like almost right up against the graveyard of the church is one of the 15-foot palisade walls, which are just thick, pointed Princess Mononoke Iron Town sort of palisade. Except those were serious walls. Those were like 100 feet tall. These are like 15 feet. Like if you got onto the second floor of the church, you could see over the wall. And if you got into where like the bell was, which you could get to if you're like a ladder, then you could like just leap over it. But there's nothing immediately outside the town of Vallaki that you could get over the wall with. They've cut down the forest in that section. So, but like you can see the church from here. It's tall.
What direction do we have to travel in to get to the wine place?
The wine place would also be west and south after like a turn in the path, outside of town.
So shall we head to the church then?
Armory first, but quickly.
Good idea.
Okay, that's just a little north of you, so it's past the Wachter house, but it is you know it. It's a bit of town where you had confronted the tax collector, and though Lady Wachter had mentioned like bad business in that the smith, the blacksmith himself is kind of an ex-blacksmith. The wife is still there. Her name's Nyanka, and so she's there to run any service for what she's got left. So she's got basic weapons, martial and otherwise. They are for player's handbook prices at about the right sort. So nothing like the extortionist prices that you found in Little Barovia.
Mm-hmm.
She has incredible puffy eyes and is wearing all black at this point.
Understandably.
Yeah. But she has nothing else to be doing right now. As there are no fields to tend, this was the entire livelihood. As she kind of breaks down in front of you and says, like, she's just gonna sell off everything eventually and maybe move in with her mother. That's...
And she's just gonna like kind of like chat with her comfortingly. Like try to.
We don't have time for that.
Well, you guys are looking at weapons.
Well, they're looking at weapons. All right.
Dantiir doesn't need to buy anything.
That's
So
true,
he's
and
just
I
going to
forget.
be a nice human being.
I forgot to hand this out. But for adding a little bit of cheer in here to Little Barovia, to some of its residents, to Radovan, to Martha, who you actually made smile and laugh, as well as Gadif Blinksy, who has not had a good customer in years. All of you gain inspiration if you didn't already have it. So that's
Woot.
a little point of light in Barovia.
I will add one. Yay, I got it.
Yeah, so whenever you want to use that, you get advantage on any particular roll.
Please.
What are our two guard associates doing while this is going on?
They're kind of also looking around. Radovan's kind of looking at the spears. Martha's looking just around the room and standing there near the doors, kind of listening in on Dantiir's conversation.
Okay. I'm going to sort of pull or kind of try to group Anna and Ezra together and like pretend to overlook some weapons and talk so that the two guards can't hear.
No problem.
I can't guarantee that our path out of here is going to be unobstructed. I feel like we need to make it as difficult as we possibly can for our companions. So when we leave here, I'm going to provide a brief distraction, and I want you two to head towards the western gate alone. The three of us will go collect our remaining party member and meet you there.
The western gate? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't sound like anything bad will happen.
No, that's fine. We'll be fine. I mean, we'll be fine.
All will be well.
I want them pointed in as many different directions as possible.
Okay.
Just don't hurt those two guards because they're really nice.
As long as they do not force my hand.
I mean, it's kind of their job. So, like, if you could do, like, just knock them out.
No promises. I can't make those anymore.
Oh. Okay. Well, best of luck and all of that.
And then I'll sort of just meander back over towards Segrid. Because hopefully I can get my mace back.
Yeah, that'd be no problem. Segrid, you got some cash?
Yeah, I have my gold. So once Dantiir's chatted her up a bit, I'm just gonna come over and I'll try to be polite, but I'm just like, hello. I need the biggest axe you have. The biggest axe. Big.
Like, if you have one that you think is too big, that's the one we need.
Exactly. Thank you.
There is... And she...
Where's the death axe?
Where's the death axe? She goes to where there was like a wooden display axe kind of over the sign, and she points at one, and it looks like a hand axe size. It's like maybe 6 inches. Hatchet, really? Okay. Points across the room. There's another one. This one now is maybe a good arm length. It's like a fireman's axe. Kind of thing. Bits. She looks around. She kind of goes to the back, like where this blacksmith's forge was, and you hear some things being moved around. Something falls. There's some swearing. You hear just something like clanging back there. And as she comes back, there is a large, black, unpolished thing that she's carrying in her arms. And it is just this massive great axe. And she kind of heaves that up onto the counter, and then thinks a little better of it and of the poor counter, and lays it down at there. And then she's back in the back one more time, and then when she comes back now, she has a battle axe that's similarly unpolished, so they look kind of rough and black. There's been no painting on these, either the hafts, handles, or the blades themselves. Like my husband's last works. He was just finishing them up as orders, but that's what we biggest we have.
I'm going to pick up the great axe, step a bit back from everybody else, and just kind of give it a couple of swings just to test the balance and all that stuff.
It's nice. This is a bit of a heft. This is like 7 pounds by itself, but it's well balanced. This is definitely a two-hander.
Mm-hmm.
Double-bladed that part away.
Okay, perfect. It's very good now. It would have been beautiful if he had been able to finish it, but I will take it. If you have some sandpapers, things like that, I can finish part of it myself.
She says she'll throw that in as well, as she has no more use for any of the workshop tools. Sandpaper's minor, that part. Alright, that'll be 30 gold. And she's throwing in the sandpaper for free.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do have that, thankfully, so.
Dry her tears.
With sandpaper.
Yeah. So, Great Axe, 1d10 slashing. It is heavy. It is two-handed. But that is 1d10 slashing. It's pretty good. And it's like, that is more than an arm length. This is wide. This is bear-sized hug of a Great Axe. Okay. Any other weapon exchanges?
I'll hand the mace back to Toren.
Oh, it's the final exchange.
I have my mace. I have to put it back in.
The inventory.
I deleted it. That way I didn't think I still had it.
Wonderful. Thank you again. Best of luck. Do you have someplace that you're going?
Like, we stayed in the back, but I'm staying with my mother's tonight.
Does she live here?
Oh yeah, she's here in town.
Oh.
You
Best
must...
of luck.
Okay, so business done at the blacksmith's. Your two guards, Radovan and Marta, still following behind.
And then as we head to the door, Toren is going to sort of like casually, low-key whisper, when it happens, follow me, sort of to Segrid and Dantiir. And then when we step outside the door, I'm going to use thaumaturgy to create like a wet scream, like someone choking on their own blood kind of scream, like around a corner.
It reminds me of home.
Gross.
Wait, I'm not from Barovia.
My when you're there, you're home. Okay. So you made thaumaturgy, so you made it a loud, wet scream round the corner.
Mm-hmm. To try to like distract our guards.
Sure. So Marta is alerted and just kind of goes for her weapon, and Radovan steps in front of Anna and says, like, "Stay back." God,
I will.
is it that tax collector? Oh God, is he back?
You should probably go check. You are the guards, after all.
Marta calls for other guards using a whistle that she's brought up from around her neck. And she and Radovan very carefully, but at a quick pace, stalk off around the corner with their weapons raised. And so you've got maybe 15 seconds before more guards are immediately coming to that area.
The second they start moving away, I just book it towards the church. I trust Ezra and Anna to run off in a different direction, and I hopefully trust Segrid and my brother to follow.
Okay.
Very well.
Gonna go to the west gate.
We're going to the west.
Said.
Oh my gosh, but I can pull out Ethan and tell him to follow Toren. Okay.
Okay, up goes poof,
Ignore that.
skeleton bat.
Yep.
That's good stuff. Okay. So
Oh yeah,
there's
that's a thing now.
Oh, it is shaped like a dolphin.
now you can't
Strange,
unsee it.
strange dolphin.
That's Barovian dolphins. They're very special. Their tail fins have been chopped off.
I know, I was gonna say
No.
it's Hope the dolphin. She needs a new
Oh,
tail.
winter.
Or whatever.
Spring, whatever.
So it goes. So the church is about right here.
Uh-huh.
The west gate, of course, is at the western end. And where you all are about is just a little past the town square. So
We're really far away from the west gate.
oh yeah, you're like in the middle of the town.
Yeah, we're halfway there. We're heading from the east gate.
So you're booking it at quite a big pace. From the center, kind of equidistant to a lot of the places. And so what you see coming up is mostly people who are carrying over their shoulders and overhead more lumber for either the rafters or things that they need to be piling onto the big wicker sun so that it gets a lot of wood piled underneath it. But nobody kind of gets in your way as you're getting over to the church. And at the church itself, you see it's kind of a modest stucco clay kind of whitewashed building that's got 2 stories and then a little bell up at the top. There is a fenced off area just to the side and back of it of local graveyard, one that has been fenced off in at least as much area as the church building itself has. Maybe it's not up to code, maybe you're not supposed to keep the dead inside city walls this sort of way, but it's either take care of them in here with a watchful eye or leave them outside where who knows what's going to happen to your loved ones here in Barovia. Do you want to actually stop at the church, or do you want to move on to the west gate?
We are going to the church to collect Arena. Oh, we forgot our brother.
He might be there.
Yeah, let's say so. He would have been worried about Strasny finding her as well.
Mm-hmm. He's
So
got good brotherly instincts.
one of 'em. So there at the church, you do have a couple of people in there for some morning services at the end of this 10-day, and Father Lucian has a small gospel that he's preaching about a morning Lord and its safety to the people and the faithful of the church. Helping out there, as there is a little altar boy, and as you kind of go into the church, there is a sound of somebody digging outside and swearing every couple of breaths. But on the inside of the church, where those faithful are being spoken to, you do see Irina coming in from one of the rooms, and she's bringing out some of the special Morning Lord morning cakes to give out to the faithful.
I am just going to walk very quickly, very purposefully, not running. It's still a walk, and
Swiftly
walk
with a
up
purpose.
and just come up beside her and go, "We have to go now.
What's going on?
We have to go now. I will tell you on the way. Hand off the cakes, and we will leave."
This part, Ismark comes into the church and says, I gave them the slip over at the Baron's house. Strasny is still there, but they will definitely be coming here next.
Leave.
We must go.
Okay. Irina looks over to Father Lucian and gives like a kind of a meaningful look and some hand signals of she's taking off. And yeah, caw. Gotta leave. Flying the coop, making it out, and he gives a nod and some sort of gesture with his hands. It seems to have some meaning to Irina and Ismark. To the rest of you, even to Ezra, this is something maybe, but it's no holy symbol that you've seen before. You see the altar boy's eyes on you as you leave. It's just like a little 8-year-old in just as white as they could get a smock. There's still some like stains around the bottom hem of it, maybe like from dirt or otherwise. And Irina goes over to give him a hug and whispers something to his ear, and then she goes with you immediately. And just the last thing that you get to see as you're leaving the church is the little 8-year-old boy kind of looking at all of you as you leave.
Does he look weird?
Is he the kid we saved?
Oh yeah, of course he does.
Yes, he's the kid you saved. So he doesn't look weird. He's just got those kind of mournful eyes. And as you leave, like, you kind of hear the sound of a platter falling onto the floor as he kind of like slumps his hands. And that's what you see as the doors close. Beep, beep. On to the west gate.
Woo!
There are 2 guards there at the west gate, and actually no, there's 1 guard at the west gate because for some reason some of the guards have been called away to the center of town. So there
What could
is.
that have been?
Whatever for.
I guess this guard is very much on alert. This is a young lady, and she is standing there at the gate. She has closed the gates because, as she tells you as you're going up there, it's like, no one in or out. There's been a warning whistle. My partner went to investigate. And she's standing there at the gate.
That's fine. We just we're trying to get out to go to the Wizard of Wines because we need to fix the town tax problem.
No one in, no one out.
We are appointed deputies by the burgomaster. I don't remember what he was, but we're appointed by him. I said the right thing.
Yeah. Burgomaster Velakovich, there you go.
Yep.
We are going to the Wizard of Wines.
To get out before the festival starts, or then we'll have to put it off even more, and then...
And you won't have wine for the festival.
Oh, who knows what Strahd will do if you don't have enough taxes.
If you're the deputies, why didn't you respond to the warning whistle? What was going on?
Higher order.
Have you ever heard that term, too many cooks in the kitchen? That's
There's
pretty much what
tons of guards over there.
What's going on?
There was a scream. I'm not sure.
There was a scream, but they didn't find anything. So they're just sort of like digging around, looking.
Then we can wait for my partner to come back before we open the gates. None till then.
Or Or alternatively, since we are deputies, we could guard the gate while you go see what's going on.
You said it was nothing.
Well, but you won't let us out, so it's obviously something.
She looks a little puzzled at this. Okay, time to try something. What do you got?
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm gonna need the guard to make a wisdom save.
Okay. Da 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 da. Let's roll wisdom save. They are actually not wise. Who knew?
Yeah.
So I think they're just gonna get a flat. There we go. No modifiers on this one.
Okay. She's charmed.
That is a 9. Yes.
I'm gonna use my eyes of charming.
You put on these googly glasses.
I've still got my. I've been wearing them the whole time. I've been wearing my snake eye glasses the whole time.
Everybody just thinks you're edgy.
They think I'm eclectic, idiosyncratic even.
He's got them snake eyes.
But yeah, so she is charmed.
Okay.
Look, we need to get
She's
through
looking.
this. We need to get through this gate. We've been tasked by the burgomaster to secure a shipment of wine to both help with the taxes and to make the festival right. You know how he gets when things aren't right with the festival. We need to leave.
There's no real argument to that. With your deputization, as well as that the whistle was nothing, and the magic on this person you have performed, there's no interruption for the next 6 seconds as she takes some keys off of one of the gate rooms, opens up the locked door, and she just has it out open for all of you to be with. That is where you see a number of guards coming in your direction from the center of town. None of them are looking happy. They are looking very, interested in the fact that a gate has been opened up over here on the west side. One of them is Marta.
Oh, she's our friend. That's cool.
She looks very angry.
As we all go after we all get through, Dantiir is going to turn to her and be like, "You'll want to shut the gate again. Make sure nobody else gets out."
This gate guard does give a nod, and she shuts the gate, locks it again, and turns back around so that she's facing the rest, ready for guard duty.
Ah!
Yep,
Let's run.
we run.
Okay. There is enough of a delay there at the gate with a charmed guard that the others are not going to be able to get quite enough headway with you so long as you keep running for a little while. If all of you will please roll a Constitution save.
Do better this time, me.
Let's
I
keep
did
them
better
dashes
by
going.
1.
All right.
Oh no.
Anna's in the lead.
We are the best. We are the
I
best
had a
brothers.
really good sleep.
Yeah, and good omelets.
Good protein breakfast.
Omelets did nothing for me.
Hmm?
I ate too fast.
Toren, that Dantiir, that's not how you're supposed to digest. It's very bad to be running after you do that. Segrid is way ahead.
Can I just grab one of their shoulders and just kind of be dragging them on with me just to compensate a little bit?
Yeah, okay, that's you and Dantiir, and just
Yeah, he's lighter, so.
Yep.
that's the thing. Toren, you just it was your plan, but maybe the charm part and the soldiers and the guards, that wasn't a thing, and so you're just kind of continually looking back, and you trip over a few things every so often. But because the group rolled high enough all together, then yeah, you keep that head start, and you're going to be able to keep going through the trail out of Barovia, around this, out of, not Little Barovia, but you're getting out of Vallaki. So along the old Sphalic Road, which takes you a little bit out of the way, you still do have a map that you've gotten from Arash now. So this is somewhat familiar. You know that there is a road that twists out west from Vallaki. You know that it continues west to the town of Kresk, another walled city. Something made of stone you hear, in a abbey of St. Markovia. It also goes north to Lake Zarovich, and you're soon crossing a bridge. You do come to a point where it goes south as well. There's, in fact, a bit of a crossing road here. You do see a sign that says that, let's see, to the south, there's basically an X intersection, branches. Let's see, the northwest, the northeast, back to Vallaki, the southwest, where they've told you the Wizard of Wines is, and the southeast. And, well, there's a lower half of a snapped wooden signpost thrusting upward at an angle near the eastern elbow of that intersection. On the top half of the sign, with arms pointing in 4 directions, is just kind of lying there in the weeds. Somebody's broken it off. But it's fairly easy to see, like you saw on the Rashnau map. Kresk and the Solenka Pass is to the southwest. Looks like it's pointing towards some kind of tallish mountains. You can even see some snow at the top of those in the distance. And Lake Baratok is up there at the northwest. And of course the sign has posts for Vallaki and Ravenloft to the northeast. And on this signpost there's a Berez, which must be pointing to the southeast, but on your map from Arashnau there is not a town of Berez on that map.
Where are we going?
Well, we should go to the wine place.
Okay.
Okay.
What do we do when we get there, though?
Well, I mean, the whole thing is that they stopped sending wine to the village, but if they send wine to the village, then they can use that to pay their taxes.
But are we kind of banned from the village now since we ran?
Well, we don't have to go back with
don't
it.
have to go back.
If we
Just
show up
say,
with
hey, is everything okay? Because they haven't been getting their wine.
If we go there, at the very least, we might save those people from suffering because they didn't have taxes.
I mean, they weren't all bad people.
Well, one, I have to go back. My axes are there. I am not leaving that city again until I have my axes there from my parents.
Oh, there's
2,
that.
if we show up with wine, we are heroes in this place. Did you see how those people were going on about the wine? We show up sitting on a cart full of wine casks, and we are heroes of that town.
And also, it's not that the guards didn't want us to go. In fact, the guards told us we should go.
This is true.
Okay.
Hey,
So,
it's the Wizards of Wine?
Wizards
That
of Wine
was
it
so-
is.
Okay, that's what it is called.
That
So,
sounds pretty cool.
Wizards of Wines, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be a wine wizard. Maybe that'll be my backup character.
Doesn't.
Drunk wizard.
Okay. It's maybe because of the constitution checks and the group ones, you've gotten a good distance in just like a half hour, so that by the time you get to another crossroads at what on the map is referred to as the Raven River Crossroads, there you see another weather-worn signpost next to the road. This one hasn't been knocked down. It still has its 3 arms pointing along the 3 branches in the road. So the arm pointing north reads Kresk, and through the woods you can actually see an arching stone bridge that spans that Raven River. And the arm pointing east reads Valaki. And the road where you've come from generally slopes up in that direction, so running downhill a little bit's been easy. Now the arm pointing southwest reads the Wizard of Wines, and the road continues to slope gently downward in that direction.
Go.
Nice. So as you are looking over at the signposts, there is a flock of ravens overhead that, if you've seen the flying V's of migrating geese and other birds, this wouldn't be out of place. But for ravens, these really large black birds, with a very, very large one at the front and a medium-sized one at the sides, this is a little unusual.
Are we
but
sure they're not ducks?
you can do a
Ducks
nature
have
check.
different flying patterns.
Yeah, do they look like normal?
Well, because it's the flying V. I'm pretty sure they're mighty ducks. 18.
Nice.
I know
Toren, you've learned about ducks. You've seen ducks.
Quack like a duck.
These don't quack like ducks, so you're a little disappointed, but you think it might be just more of these strangely sized ravens that
Okay.
have been here.
Those strangely sized ravens that have been around.
Yeah.
You know?
At least it's not a series of bats.
Oh, a series of bats, my favorite.
That's my favorite series.
What's wrong with bats?
A series of bats is cool, but just one bat's not very awesome.
As Ethan kind of like slumps in the air.
Oh. Your bat's cool.
Okay. As the ravens are kind of swinging by overhead, they seem to tilt their eyes as if to give you a better look, like they're full on circling above you in a manner similar to, say, ocean-dwelling predators, but just from above. And
Those birds remind me of something. Did I tell you guys about the innkeepers?
No, you've been asleep.
for days, weeks.
You've been asleep for years.
Oh. Well, do you want to hear about the innkeepers?
Sure.
Do I want?
I mean, it's not like we not having you talk will. What?
I don't know that I want to hear about your escapades in their bedroom.
No. They're ravens.
What?
Like, you know how there's werewolves?
Yes.
They're like were-ravens.
Seeger's gonna take that feather out of her little side pouch and look at it. Just
That's
Wait.
amazing.
As soon as Segrid does that, the lead raven flying up ahead calls out again in a loud and bold tone, and then you see them head southwest along the route of the Wizard of Wines path.
So that was either good or bad.
pack it around.
Put that
Very-
right now.
I feel like that was either very good or very, very terrible.
I have a new axe at least.
It's true.
Silver linings.
It's a big one.
Oops.
We'll find out.
Okay. So, heading along the Old Sphalic Road to the southwest, after about a half mile, the road becomes a muddy trail that meanders through the woods. It descends gradually until the trees finally do part, revealing a mist-shrouded meadow, even at this time of day. Now it's around 10. And the trail splits. One branch heads west into the valley, and the other leads south into dark woods. And there's a wooden signpost at this intersection that points west and reads Vineyard.
Is there any sign for the other way?
Nope.
Okay. Bless you.
Silent. So on the big map, you're at about here. Sigrid's very happy she has a big axe again.
Well, let's go to the vineyard.
Go again.
Bless you again.
So,
Are you not used to the outdoors?
I guess not. Do you think there's some local honey I can eat to get used to the pollen?
maybe at the winery.
I mean, if they make mead, there'll be honey.
True.
Oh, I miss Need.
As you head west then, along the vineyard trail, a light drizzle starts to fall. It's cold at this part of winter. There's unpainted fences blindly following the trail, which skirts north of a sprawling vineyard before bending south towards a stately building. The fog takes on kind of ghostly forms as the rain makes it swirl between the neatly tended rows of grapevines. And here and there you see rope-handled half-barrels used for hauling grapes. And north of the trail where you're walking along is a large stand of trees. And as you're walking along and get sight of the stately manor, a man in a dark cloak and cowl steps forward to the edge of the trees and raises his hand out and beckons you to come closer.
My axe is out.
Dantiir will take a step forward, hands up to show that he is unarmed.
You're an idiot.
Thank you.
Dantiir does more damage without weapons. Dantiir does way more damage with magic.
The figure there steps backwards into the woods and gestures for Dantiir to follow a bit closer.
No. Like, I'm like grabbing the scruff of his shirt as he tries to walk away. What
Don't walk away, I stepped forward.
what kind of fool notion?
As you see the cloaked figure kind of walk a little deeper into the woods, there's another one of slightly shorter stature holding what's clearly a child, but still with this kind of dark gray cloak. And the child that they're holding is like not crying or anything, but they're very much swaddled and bundled up, and comes up to the first figure, and the first figure kind of looks over, and you hear them say something, but they look back at your group.
We mean no harm.
Maybe.
Neither do we, but if you were heading into the winery, harm might befall you.
Who are you?
Now that they're standing a little bit under the trees, the shorter figure kind of gives a little hand slap to the first one, and he says, "Oh," and he pulls down his cowl, and it's like a middle-aged man. He's got the startings of very large sideburns and kind of coming up to the center, but not quite making it all the way. Otherwise, a full head of black hair. I'm Adrian of the Markovs, and this is my wife, Stefania, and this is this is our son, Claudio. And as they're speaking, more people start walking out from in those sides of the Northwood. Just kind of still within. They're not getting near with the path where you're on, and the winery building still looks maybe like 15 minutes away. It's a little bit down. It's like, please, before any of them see you, I wanted to warn you off the path. We can be safe in here. We've kind of killed all the brush that's nearby.
Before who sees us?
Can I make an insight check on this guy?
Absolutely. And
I assist.
yes, please. So both of you roll. We'll take the highest.
Okay.
And it's like,
That's a 21.
before those crazy druids and their crazy trees.
Where did they come from? What direction?
Oh, they came from everywhere all at once. It was a madhouse. And you see basically all the other, like 9 people fully out here in the cold wood. And you see where they've made like a little bit of a lean-to out here. And there's 2 little children, little boys, Martin and Vigo. There's a little girl, teenage. She looks like she's not having the time of her life in the woods with her parents and family. And there's even an old man there, a kind of a crotchety looking. Looks like he, of all of them, he has been either prepared for this the most, or you think that maybe this is just how he dresses all the time with this like survivor style
You all laughed at me.
coat. Yeah. let me show you a little portrait here of Grandpa Davian Mardukov. He's got his gnarled up staff. He's got bits of shiny things on his cloak and his.
Oh man, that is a cool cloak.
Yeah. It would be cooler if it wasn't like stained in odd places, with bits of either paint or blood, and
Adds to the character of it.
He has a dingle hopper.
he does have a dingle hopper. Also, like feathers everywhere. Like he's got a pet parrot hidden somewhere, but not here. And you haven't seen any black parrots, and these are all black
Can't
feathers.
find it.
And it's like, what are you doing, Adrian? Give away our position.
Did I
Oh yeah, the insight. You're pretty sure this Adrian Mardukov is on the up and up. Certainly it would be odd to invite in strangers around his wife and children, but yeah, he seems to be doing it out of kindness, as he's arguing with his father apparently that he was trying to get you off the road before those crazy druids. And he doesn't say crazy, but I'm not gonna repeat it for the stream. And they're crazy trees. And you do notice that in this part of the woods, they have kind of chopped up a lot of the saplings. They haven't touched the big trees, but they have cleared space around here and raked what parts of the ground there are that are exposed. The only thing safe here is grass, but they have taken axes and adze and hatchets to any nearby bush for a good 50 feet.
I will pass along to my party that these people seem to be telling the truth and that I trust them.
I didn't think there would be druids in a land like this.
Maybe it's because that they are in a land like this that they've gone a bit rogue.
Druids, says
Sounds like it.
David. More like cultists, and he spits in the direction of the winery. I worship that batty fellow. Thinks he owns the place. So they think that he should be the one that they follow.
Strahd?
Davian spits again. Aye, that late lad.
How
Absolute
old are
lad.
you, good sir?
Not as old as the vampires. I saw them in my day, and I'll probably not outlive him, but he can choke on me if it comes to that.
I like this guy.
Segrid adores him.
Yeah. Adrian's kind of rolling his eyes like, who would want to eat an old man like you? Like, even if we steeped you in the best of Dustamp, I don't think you'd come out. You'd just sour the wine, old man. And Davian kind of like shakes his stick at him. It's like, if we had the seeds, we wouldn't have come into this.
The seeds?
Seeds?
Who told you about seeds?
You did.
This is the best old man. You just said seeds. If you had the seeds, this wouldn't have happened.
No, I didn't. What are you here for? The seeds?
I'm.
I feel this is cyclical.
So this guy has a lot of black feathers on him.
He does. As like he's had a pet parrot.
Okay, I'm gonna take out the feather that I had, and just hold it up.
Everybody like falls silent. That part. Where did you get that?
At the what's the name of the bar? The
Blue Water Inn.
At the Blue Water Inn.
A sour look comes across Davian Mardikov's face, and he just like trundles over to the small campfire that they've had up for the kids. And Adrian, the eldest, kind of runs his fingers through there, like, came from Erwin's place, eh?
Mm-hmm.
We saw you on the road, and
It's you.
yeah, how is he doing? Are the kids all right?
Kids are good, I think. From what I saw of them, they were hopping around like mad.
Yeah, they'll do that. That kind of age keeps them from knocking themselves out as they get out the nest. As they get their landing, and then he kind of like realizes he's catching himself. I mean, the beds falling off, as kids do.
No. I saw everything.
And his wife will say, "Really? What did you see of everything?"
I watched his kids turn into birds and fly away.
Yes, that is everything. That's all. From back of the campfire, Davian says, "Ha! That useless nincompoop son of mine can't even keep his secrets of the wear, or even keepers of the feathers together. Yeah, I should have kicked him out sooner."
I mean, to
Really
be
knows
fair,
him.
I was kind of snooping around.
What are the keepers of the feather?
Huh? You here for the keepers of the feather? Who told you?
This is too good.
I don't trust him, Adrian. We should drop him off just off the wall of Alaki. Get him on them spikes.
So while all of this is going on, Toren will be looking down the road towards the winery. Is there any movement?
Give me
At
a
all?
nice perception. It's like 15 minutes away, so it's some distance.
21.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. So this time of day, it's about 11. There is a light drizzle on, and the mist is being kept near the level of snow due to the drizzle. So there's otherwise kind of a clear shot towards the manor. Well, it's not a manor, but it's their winery. Toren, you see two things. One, you definitely see like a purplish light just kind of flashing a couple times within the winery windows. It has an upper floor, a ground floor, and well, that doesn't look quite natural. It's too bright for candlelight and too weirdly colored for lantern light, as well as too short. Besides that, though, you kind of see some movement there in the vineyard just across the road from where you've stepped. And there's still some distance between the fence and the nearest grapevines there that are held up on stilts, but you're pretty sure you saw something moving in there. You didn't see people,
Mm-hmm.
but almost as if some of the grapevines had switched places. Like if one walked to another row, and some rustling from there. The mists obscure a little bit of it, but there was movement over there.
I will step back towards the group
Mhm.
and just
The two little boys and the teen girl are all staring at you, Toren, as you were the last one to step in here. And they see you with your cleric raiment. It's all black and white and not real travel-like, and they're all staring at you with very wide eyes. And are you a paladin?
no. No, I am not.
Are you a hero?
I'm definitely not that.
He really likes kids, though, so you guys should spend a lot of time with him.
I hate you so much right now.
You should show them that dolly.
No!
It's a Blinksy.
No.
Alright.
More importantly, why are the vines moving?
Evil trees.
All the little kids also nod along as soon as Dantiir says that. They're really bad. From Adrian and his wife, you do hear is like basically the druids came in. Druids here in Barovia are not very nice, and they were commanding quite a number of plants, needle blights, who were also not nice, and they broke into the winery and the home of the Mardikovs out here. That they could just run. They tried to fight them off, but there were as an incredible number of them surrounded the house before going out to the field. They have been staying out here for at least a week, trying to see what's happening or to escape. They do kind of drop the ball. That's like, okay, we're this happens when like the two youngest boys, Martin and Vigo, kind of get into a fight, and as they like tussle, they absolutely turn into these like bird-headed young lads, and they like start. Imagine like two people like hand fighting in that way, except now they have like little wings and they're fighting, and so they're like 4 and 5 and brothers. It's just how it goes, and their dad comes over to separate them, but they're like holding up. It's like, yep, were ravens, all of them. Keepers of the Feather is, as they explained, they are a watchful group over the valley. They prepare wine. They give it out for free, mostly to keep up the spirits of the people who live here, and they help keep a struggle going against Strahd's family. Well, there's no family anymore, just Strahd and his many, many wives. He gets a new one every so often, and the kids know to ask about paladins and heroes and the like, because every so often Strahd will lure people into the valley from outside. And they thought like a year ago that was going to be his undoing. Some real strong wizard came in and had like rocked the socks off Strahd. He knocked him right off his flaming pony and hit him with a sun don't shine. They said they hadn't seen anything like that happen since the tales of old Markovia herself. But it didn't take. That was a year ago. There hadn't been anybody new since, until apparently you fine folk. It was a big lightning battle. Cleared up the mist for a few days, but that was about it. I mean, the temper of the group is grim in mostly a way. The kids aren't having a good time. They've got a bit of a cough. The only one who seems dogged about staying out here is Davian Mardikov himself, who has now been complaining in the background about them releasing all their secrets. Might as well tell them all about the seeds, and they can steal whatever they have left. But but there's none left. So there, they've already been stolen. He starts eating a can of beans from his personal stash, right off his hip.
Wow.
Yeah. Basically, they've evil druids. They've taken over the winery, forcing the family to live in the woods.
Evil druids.
Mm-hmm.
The worst.
They are the worst.
Well, I mean,
Is this the part where we offer to help?
yes.
Yeah, I agree, Michelle.
Actually,
They're
says
doing good
Adrian,
work.
this is the part where we ask, what are you doing out here? Ravenloft is that way, so I suppose you're not meeting Strahd's challenge?
Not at the moment.
How did you know about
Not at
that?
all, hopefully.
You don't look like you're from around here, and honestly, I'll say that you're the wise ones for not going to meet him. That place is a maze on the inside. He likes toying with people.
Well, we've been. But I don't plan on returning.
So what are you
You
doing
would-
out here?
We are looking to help you.
Among other things, there was an issue in Vallaki with the taxes. The sheep were all slaughtered, so they have nothing to pay to Ravenloft. And so we thought perhaps if we could discover what was keeping the wine from Vallaki,
We
and
might be able to help them out.
Sure. We've got... Before we left, we had 3 barrels in the loading dock, and there's another 3 full barrels and lots of our finest bottles there in the cellar. If we had still been working this week, we have, of course, 4 vats of wine still fermenting, but we haven't been tending them all week. I'm probably going to have to throw out that batch, but if you're here to help, yeah, we could turn over quite a bit of this inventory over to Vallaki if you think it would help them.
Sure, it wouldn't hurt, at the very least.
You all taken on druids of Barovia before?
I've never even taken on a druid.
I've seen a dead body of one.
Yeah, we knew a druid. Our first... One of the people that came here with us was a druid. He was a good one. A gentle soul.
These would be the most opposite you can be. Barely speak English if you... English was a thing in fantasy Barovia. Barovian.
I was like, I'm not even sure I speak English. Let me look at my languages.
Where is this English land place?
Not for our eyes to see. So they'll give you a warning. Adrian and his older son, who kind of was married in, Dag, they think that they could give you an opening. A lot of the twig blights and needle blights, and God, I hope they didn't bring their tree. They have been standing watch for the Mardikovs, kind of around the winery, but mostly keeping to the vineyard. He thinks they like the soil. So if you want to get over to the winery, they're offering to run some cover. Says, unless you've got wings of your own, I think we would stand a better chance of going in and distracting them and getting away safe.
Ha.
That's a good plan. Is there anything that you know of these that could help us defeat them quicker?
They are wood, but they do not burn very well.
Dang it.
Yes, they are strange and of dark magic in that way. Have you heard of the Gulfius wood?
No.
Have I heard of the Gulfius wood?
This would be kind of a very lore questiony. So you could go with this history checks if you want.
I would love to. Bard might be able to bard here.
Sure.
Let's see.
21.
Four.
So while Dantiir is like going over in his head, is like Gulfius. Toren, this is something that they taught you in Kelemvor services in case you ever found yourself in this situation. The Gulfius was a vampire, a great vampire lord, the kind that takes very skilled clerics to defeat and disperse. And this was of an age where not all the vampire fighting techniques had been codified, so they did their best. They certainly fought him out, brought him down to what should have been fatal, and stabbed him through the heart with the legend and lore say that it was a stake of mistletoe, but that never made sense, as mistletoe is a very thin plant. But that's just what the lore part went. The second half of it was that from that vampire's body, the dark powers merged with the stake, and from it grew what became known as a Gulfius tree. And seeds and saplings from it are dark and wicked things, and that it's part of church lore that you need to be putting down things of undead nature that are kind of lasting outside the wheel of life, as is. And if you ever come across twig blights, needle blights, these evil plants, it's not exactly a direct line to the undead, but that you should know that wherever they are active and near, there is likely to be some sort of, as the lore goes, a branch of Gulfius that is the source of their wickedness. And Adrian Mardukov can kind of confirm that. It's like, yeah, if that's the story you heard, that's kind of what we figure. If there's anybody in there with Gulfius wood, that would be something that you could use to control this mini. If you find that, maybe that'll help.
Great.
What time of day is it?
It is now noontime.
Everything good? We rested? We still have all our abilities? So
That's true. There are very bright and shiny storm clouds that are directly overhead for this entire time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down one spell slot, but I definitely don't want to go in there at night.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure us spending a night in the woods is a good idea considering our companion.
Mm-hmm.
This is Adrian's wife will kind of say, it's like, this is why we should go stay with Erwin. And Grandpa Davian is vocally against that. It's like, we're not staying at that traitor's house.
Why not?
He betrayed the family, lost a seed of Martikov's, still denies it to this day.
What's that seed of Mardukov?
He will, in a cantankerous way, kind of clam up about it.
Turn to his son.
Yeah.
It's
To
the
his
seed
son. It's like, it's one of family heirlooms. Look, helping us out here would put a little more trust in this, and
Toren would be like, your personal feuds and family secrets are not for us to pry. We have a purpose here.
And Adrian kind of looks a little grateful for that. It's like, also, I don't want to talk about it while Father's awake. He gets in his moods. He has
Well,
ears of a rabbit, I swear.
awake,
It's
awake
the
or
beans!
asleep.
He yells from the campfire. Beans for long health. Good life.
Awake or asleep, your family secrets are your own. We will not pry.
And
Side glare.
sure. Nods at that. Dantiir, what do you think of the kids?
If letting them talk, Dantiir would probably be like attempting to entertain them.
Nice. They have been out here for so long. The two little boys are definitely liking the way that Dantiir is joking with them and being amazed at all of their stories of all the bugs and worms and centipedes that they have found. Anna, the teen girl, Yolanda, has been admiring your shoes and the rest of what you're wearing.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to try them on?
She kind of looks away and says, like, no, then looks back at it.
You can try them on, really. I have an extra pair.
And she says, okay. And then she, like, sits down on a log that they've brought over, and she stands up again, and then she goes back to where the lean-to is, and she comes back, and she has, like, a towel, and she kind of sits there, and she takes off her... It's like not sandals that they've had here, but she has like hiking boots, and they are just not. They're very utilitarian, but they're not very cute. And so she takes them off, and her socks, and she like kind of turns away from you and kind of like washes her feet a little bit. As I assume you bring out the extra pair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then she puts on like a clean pair of socks, and they're pink.
Oh, cute socks.
Yeah. And she says thanks, and then tries on the boots. Or what kind of shoes did you have actually?
They're boots. They're
Okay.
like knee-high, lace-up boots. But like classy ones, not adventurer ones.
Yeah, okay. Stefania, the wife, comes over and says like, Yolanda, stop bothering her.
No, it's fine. I told her she could try them on.
Yeah, Mom. And so now she's wearing them. With her pink socks are not the right size for these, but but you can see them kind of peeking out as she didn't quite lace the boots up right. But she's like, this, Mom, I want some like these. I don't want to. I wouldn't be able to wear these out in the vineyard, and that's. Or I think her mom says like you wouldn't be able to wear those out in the vineyard. She says that's the whole point. I don't want to be in the stupid vineyard anymore. Why can't we just go to Uncle Irwin's place and stay there? I don't want to be out in the mud anymore. And she's having a very enjoyable time with those boots.
I'll just let her keep stomping around in them for now.
Okay. Oh, she put her towel on the floor and she's trying not to get them muddy in the slightest. It's like all of her things we had to leave when we did, and it's been hard on her. out here. Well, the whole family. If you can, she left. It's she has just a hand mirror. She thinks I don't know it, but she hides it over in the winery, down in the cellar. When we had to leave, we only took basically what we were wearing, and it's one of the only things that she has outside of her personal things. Now, would you mind, if you get the chance, bringing that back? I think we are going to end up going over to Erwin's place, even if we have to drag Davian kicking and screaming and squawking. This is no real place for a young lady.
Yeah, I'll look for it.
Okay. So she thanks you. That part. Everybody ready? Okie dokie. At your timed signal, the older Mardikovs will kind of leap quietly over the fence to the vineyard and will just kind of rush into those rows of grapevines and barrels, and you don't need a very good perception to notice that there is just, imagine tumbleweeds that are invading a town and just converging, and so you are seeing them reach up and on spindly legs and branches that end in wicked points, they animate out of the vineyard and stand through the mist, and they just start running after the Mardikovs who are in the vineyard, and this is your moment. So, good to go. So in the...
Do this.
Yeah, so as they're kind of distracting a lot of very pointy, needly things, you get to go to the midst of the vineyard. There's the winery, an old 2-story stone building with what look like multiple entrances. There's thick ivy covering all of the walls and iron fencing along its roofline. Good for birds to land on. Now, the trail to it ends at an open loading dock on the ground floor. There is a wooden stable of more recent construction attached to the east side of the winery, next to that loading dock. And on the west side of the winery is a crumbling well and a wooden outhouse. And you can hear the Mardikov lads there in the middle of the vineyard. And, well, even from nearby, you start to hear the rustle of dead vines all around you. And inhuman shapes start emerging from the vineyard. Not as many as that were chasing the Mardikovs, but, well, there's enough that their limbs crack as they trudge forth through the mist and rain to you that you might want to pick a place to enter. So these things, these creatures, these needleblights, are about 120 feet away from you as you see them. And where do you want to go?
We should.
The closest entry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okie doke. So that will put you at the stables. I'm going to drag you onto this map. And I think, oh, what can you see right now?
Nothing.
Blackness.
Great. Okay.
Like my soul.
That's good. Then I'm going to put you in here. And you should be able to see 2 horses,
Oh.
Ethan the Bat.
Ugh.
Mhm.
I still see complete blackness.
Great. Hmm.
I see
Look,
the
it's Ethan
tent.
the Bat.
You can see the bat? Okay.
Mhm.
Apparently hanging out with me.
Oh, dynamic lighting. You are not good for this place.
Oh,
There we go. Okay, putting on Fog of War then. That's a little easier to manage. So what you get to see first
yeah.
are loading docks. And so those doors are open because that's an outside part. And you can see a couple of doors going in. There's even a door that looks like it's been left open a little further into the loading dock. And there's like a barn here, and you definitely see a wagon that's been loaded up with 3 large barrels. And just a good 120 feet away from you, which is about, maybe 20 seconds from needle blights coming your way, there are choices. So you can go around to any other parts of the house. So on the west side, there have been bits of crumbly well from what you could see. Otherwise, this is what you have an idea for so far.
I would say like up the loading dock and through
Yeah.
this open door, like right here.
I agree. I
Agreed.
like that one.
Okie dokie. So you had that wagon. There's that wooden walkway. You step up onto it, and your feet kind of clank boot noises there. There's a hole in the ceiling, in fact, that you can see. There's like a wooden arm of a loading crane, ropes and hooks dangling from it. And as you go in, there's now a set of double doors that are off to the west, looking into the interior of this building. And a set of stairs that kind of spiral. Not stairs. It's a ramp. It slopes both up and down. There are scratch marks there on the bottom of the ramp, the kind of in 2 paths. That suggests that this is where barrels might be rolled up and down. You can see a window that looks into another room with large standing vats.
Where did I see the light coming from? Was it like the upper levels?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm just gonna tell everyone to go up from where I am in the group.
Okie doke. That's a suggestion. Other than the
Okay.
doors that you've seen so far, there are now 10 seconds from being where you are.
go up.
I mean, go inside and
Yeah.
maybe barricade ourselves or something.
Okie doke. There's the door you're entering through. Do you
Yeah.
want to do anything with that?
Does it have a lock on the inside, or a
It-
bar or anything?
It does have a bar.
Could sneak everyone in there and then bar the door.
Oh, well, there's things that have seen you.
Oh, okay.
But at the very least, a bar will slow people down.
Mhm.
Yeah, my instinct is just to get in and go up.
Okie doke. If no objections, then that's where you can head.
Yeah.
So as you go up, this is to the second floor. There's a door off to your left as you go up, and you do see the main part of the crane and winch that you had noticed from down below. And kind of standing there from around the corner of that winch, there is a man dressed in not exactly raggedy clothes, but certainly it looks like rough spun stuff, and he's got mud slathered across his face, darkening his countenance. And as he sees, I think Segrid come up first, who's got her big great axe right there, he starts saying something at her. And as he sees everyone else come up, he leaps down to the center, down to where the wine barrel carts were, and he starts shouting.
And I would like to cast Hold Person on him.
Oh, okay. Let's give you that opportunity. Okay. Wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed. So this is where he starts swearing some things at Segrid. And he's got to do a wisdom save. Okay. He does have some wisdom on him.
Druids.
Yeah. What do you know?
Oh, yeah.
That's an 18. Okay, so as you do that, he's definitely still shouting, even as he drops down onto the second floor. Segrid, you saw that he was holding on to a rather gnarled-looking staff, one that looks like, imagine a very natural broom, one that you've tied lots of stiff straw and stuff to. It's like that, except it looked like the broom part was just sprouting naturally out of the wood. And that's where, well, that's when the other needle blights do land at the bottom of there, and so you are soon to be overrun from the ground floor. Good thing you're on the second. And that's where we're going to end our session tonight.
No!
As the needle blights
Looks like
start invading.
Looks like we're in a sticky situation.
Oh, yeah.
That was worth it. That was
Not
worth
to needle
it.
you a bit or anything. So we'll see y'all. Same Strahd time. Same happy, fun place. Next week in Barovia. See ya.